Oh, okay. All right, I'm here on location, and I'm with Congressman Robert Hurt. Oh, wait a minute, you're not Robert, you're Charlie. Oh, okay, well, you look so much like
He's
him.
the better looking, taller one that doesn't stutter as much.
Oh, okay.
As they say, I've got a face for newspapers.
Oh, okay. No, but you're always on TV, though.
I know. I don't know what they're thinking. They do put me on TV a bit.
Right. I mean, every day we turn on Fox News and there's Charlie Hurt.
I'm sitting there stuttering through some argument about something that is usually attacking Barack Obama.
Yeah, because we know we know you got to be a Hurt because we turn on Fox News and you're going and. So we know you got to be a Hurt.
Yes. Yeah. I think I sometimes like to tell myself that it's just that I'm such a fast thinker that I think faster than I can speak. But that's I'm probably slow in both departments actually.
Okay. Well, I'm finally glad to get this interview because I have been working on this interview for over, let's see, 3 years now.
All you have to do is see. This is you go through.
I go through the wrong channels,
Robert
right?
is now part of the federal government. You go through the federal government to get a hold of me, and it's never going to work out. You should just call me, email me. We would have made it happen.
Okay, but I finally got it. I talked to Sean Harrison, and I finally got it. Well, Sean Harrison finally got it because I'm here at an event tonight. But look, we're in front of a beautiful plane.
Buddy May used beautiful plane.
I mean, what kind of more beautiful background can we have? So
yeah, it's gorgeous, and it's a striking color too.
And I'm going to admit this. I mean, even on my own TV camera, that I was so excited about interviewing you, I forgot that the governor was even coming. When he showed up, I went, "Oh, Bob's here." But I was so excited about interviewing you, I forgot about the whole event tonight.
Well, he gave a very, very nice speech and talked about the importance of re-electing Robert, and also the importance of electing George Allen and Mitt Romney, and I thought he gave very nice remarks.
Yeah, but technically, you really can't say that. Really? I mean, being a reporter for the Washington Post?
Yeah, I've sort of morphed out of the sort of fair and balanced reporting, and very much more into sort of. I write a column once or twice a week, and it's a lot more opinionated than I was when I was doing straight reporting. Obviously, it's sort of hews to the right a whole lot more, and so. So I have sort of gotten. I like to be an equal opportunity offender, and go after both Republicans and Democrats whenever they misuse the public trust or lie or waste our money. That's what I like.
Okay. Now, what is it like working for the Washington Post? I mean, what took you away from beautiful Pennsylvania County to go to work for Washington?
I always wanted to work for a newspaper. I always wanted to. What I really wanted to do when I started out is I wanted to cover crime. I wanted to see dead bodies. I grew up in Chatham. I loved being in Chatham, but I wanted real crime. And so when I got out of college, I moved out to Detroit, got a job at the Detroit News. I loved it. Literally, when I drove into Detroit the first time, I was looking back and forth, and it was on what I later learned was called Devil's Night, which was the couple of days before Halloween. And it's when Detroiters go out and burn all their houses down and burn their cars down. And so I'm riding down Jefferson Avenue in Detroit, looking around, and of course I took the first exit because I thought it was like Chatham. It only had maybe 2 exits or 3 exits. Of course it had a bunch of them. So I take the first exit and I'm taking city streets down. Everything is on fire. Cars are on fire. Fire engines going everywhere. And I'm thinking to myself, I love this place. This is where I want to be. And so I worked there for like 10 years and then moved to D.C. to get closer to family and to start covering politics. Went there to cover the now infamous John Edwards, who was then a rising star, and covered him for the Charlotte Observer, and then wound up bureau chief for the New York Post for about 5 years, and where I covered the Obama campaign. And then, but since I've sort of gone out of that business and straight into the sort of writing columns, you get into a lot more, as we call it, calling balls and strikes.
Okay. All right. Now, all right, so you went to Detroit. Now, I think you also worked in New York too, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I worked for the New York Post for about 5 years, which I loved, and it was a wonderful paper. It's a very populist, simple, basic paper. and they have a lot of fun, and it's a wonderful, and I still read it every day. I love the paper.
Okay, now what carried you to Washington?
Well, I moved to Washington. When I was working for the New York Post, I was in Washington for the New York Post, so I actually never left. It's just the thing about Washington is that it is it's a very nice place to it has all the advantages of a big city, but it's very small townish in a lot of ways. We live on Capitol Hill with my wife and 3 kids.
Oh, okay.
It's very neighborhoody and stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is, if I could snap my fingers and live in Chatham, I would. But like a lot of people, it's hard. It's very hard to make a living around here, and it's a sad reality. And I would actually say that is largely Washington's fault, that it is so difficult to raise, to make money and make a living in a place like Chatham, Virginia.
Okay, now being in Washington, do you cover what your brother is doing, or do you have to stay impartial?
Yeah, I do some, and I don't. I do cut. I obviously cover the stuff that the House does and the Congress does, but I cover a lot of what the White House does, but I don't. No one mistakes me as being impartial. I mean, I usually take a side on most of these issues. It's no secret that I'm a lot more conservative than most people in the media. Or any of my colleagues who were reporters back then, but they were. I mean, I would argue that so many. I mean, and these are people that I love, who are friends. They are just screaming left wingers, and they're all totally in the tank for Obama, and always have been. And if I'm an outlier on the other side, well, so be it. All the other outliers are on the other side. I don't really care.
Okay. Now, what do you think about Obamacare that it just came up recently?
Yeah,
I mean, as a reporter.
I thought it was really fascinating, and when I was at the Washington Times a long time ago, I actually covered Robert's confirmation hearing, and it was fascinating, and actually it didn't surprise me that John Roberts would have actually supported it, simply because his the strongest argument that he has always made is that he believes that the legislature should legislate and judges should not legislate from the bench. And in fact, that's what he basically ruled was, look, maybe I like it, maybe I don't, but you know what? The Republicans in Congress need to take care of this themselves. This is not we can't do it for you. And we're not going to make it easy for you. But he gave them a couple of tools in order to do it, and I thought it was a fascinating ruling. I don't like Obamacare, but I thought it was a very shrewd ruling on the part of Roberts.
Oh, okay. All right, now let's get back to local thing a little bit. All right, now you are Robert's twin brother. I found that out tonight because you look like him. But like I said, people send each other messages, Facebook, and say, hey, he's on Fox News. Turn over to Fox News. We're all proud of you. That you have made something. Now your brother is running for Congress again this year. Now, are you going to help Robert out a little bit this year?
No, I don't.
Or are you going to stay impartial?
I love to come to things like this, and my wife donates to this campaign.
But you can't have your name on anything, right, Charlie?
It wouldn't. I mean, obviously, he's my brother, and I want him to win, and I hope he does win. And I think he's a very good voice in Congress. But I don't. But I guess the reporter in me makes me hesitant to get overly involved in all of it. But I don't. But I'm not. It's sort of funny because I don't really, in any way, hide the fact that I do want him to win.
Yeah.
He's my brother, and he's also a good. I know that he cares a lot about all this, what he talks about, and he believes it.
Right. Okay.
And in fact, I wish there were a lot more people on both sides of the aisle that were more like Robert.
Okay. All right. Now, there's a lot of reporters that ask people questions that, they're scared to ask. Some people ask questions that just come right out. I'm one of those people that ask questions, just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
I could have said another word, but I can't. I'm just one that, just comes right out and asks. And because some of your colleagues in New York and Washington, they're too afraid to ask you, but I don't care. Why do people call you Squirrel Boy?
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
But they do call you Squirrel Boy.
I've never heard anyone call me that.
Your family calls you Squirrel Boy. Come on, Charlie, tell me why they call you Squirrel Boy.
I've never heard that before. I know that Sean Harrison.
Sean calls you Squirrel Boy. Your dad calls you.
I think when Sean Harrison does it, he's projecting because.
Your dad calls you Squirrel Boy because just right before this interview, your father told me to ask you why they call you Squirrel Boy.
What happened was Sean Harrison has tried to get other people to call him because he feels lonely because he's the only one that tries to call me that.
Your dad told me right before this interview to call you, ask you why they call you Squirrel Boy.
The negative. I'm just going to continue on the affirmative that Sean Harrison is making it all up. And actually, he has a pet squirrel. And
Your daddy wouldn't lie to me, Charlie.
Did you talk to Dad about this?
Yes, I did talk to your dad about it because right before he pulled off, he asked me why do they call you Squirrel Boy.
I think you're making that up. And anyway,
Would you call your daddy a liar?
Sean Harrison. No, I wouldn't. But I would say this: that as we all know, Sean Harrison is a Yankee, and he can't really be trusted because and he's a Washington inside, and he works for the Google now.
Your grandmother calls you Squirrel Boy also.
No, now you are accepting lies and not filtering them.
Your daddy, before he pulled out of this parking lot, told me to ask you why they call you Squirrel Boy. I would not lie about your father.
No, Dad or Gigi?
Your daddy, when he pulled out, he told me, because I told him I was going to be interviewing you.
Squirrel Boy.
And he said, ask you why they call you Squirrel Boy.
I don't know. I think you should interview Sean Harrison. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I'm just going by what your father told me, because your father would not lie to me.
I don't think that. I really would be surprised if Henry, because Dad doesn't call me.
Well, he told me to ask you. I did what I was told. Okay, Charlie, I appreciate your time.
Well, thank you.
And I will continue to watch Fox News when they say Charlie Hurt is on Fox News.
Anytime you want to have...
To call you personally?
Yes, email me.
Forget about to run around, just call you personally.
He's a politician, you know things.
I forget about them. All right, I will call you personally. Thank you, Charlie.
I'll do it.